Echoing.
Okay, perfect. Hey, let's restart.
Okay.
Evan and LaQuoia from RPH Ally. So excited to have you guys here. Dr. LaQuoia Johnson is announcing her channel, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion and Belonging. And so kind of to roll into things like usual, everything in RPH Ally seems to be moving at kind of breakneck speeds, and we're adding on one kind of channel after the next. Please stay tuned to be able to see like who's coming on and what's available. But we have a ton of support out there for pharmacy professionals, and being able to help you kind of navigate through the career and what you want to do next. But really exciting things, I guess, come through this. Go to RPH Ally, have your registration ready, and go ahead and join the individual membership. Take advantage of all the incredible people like Dr. LaQuoia Johnson that are there and utilizing the platform to bring their expertise. But really excited about LaQuoia, and she knows that I'm a huge fan of her and what she's doing. We both have a passion for integrating levels of culture and understanding inside of the workplace, and for our patients in particular. But to kick things off, LaQuoia, give me a little bit about yourself and kind of the background of how you got into this specialty and what you're doing today.
Well, Kevin, that is a large question. And so I'm going to do my best to pack all of that into about 1 minute. Okay. But thank you so much for having me. I just love what you and Sean are doing with RPH Ally. Let me tell you, this is amazing work, very much needed work. And so a little bit about me. I am originally from Raleigh, North Carolina. I did pharmacy school at UNC Chapel Hill, but before that, I wanted to be a pediatrician. And I decided I didn't want to be a pediatrician around about my sophomore year of college, because I found out I didn't like children like that anymore. But having wanted to be a pediatrician since third grade, it's like, okay, now what are you going to do? You're like 19, 20 years old. Like, this has been your whole life. And so that was my first career pivot. And long story short, I went and studied abroad in South Africa. And I was connected to working with some women who were HIV positive. Their only access to medication was through drug studies. And this was the height of the HIV/AIDS pandemic in South Africa. They didn't have antiretrovirals because it wasn't on the national essential meds list. And so after working with these women who were like the most positive women I've ever met in my life, they were just really full of life, wanting to leave a legacy for their children. So they were making memory boxes. After meeting them, working with them, I decided that I really wanted to devote my life to making medications accessible to communities who are like those women, right? And so in a roundabout way, God has made it such that all of my journey, all of my experiences have culminated to this moment in time right here, where I get to serve in a way that I've never served before and use pharmacy as my platform. So I've created Grace Culture out of the painful experiences that I've went through in pharmacy as a pharmacy professional. But now I know that it's my purpose. I was prepared for a time such as this. When I had to leave my toxic and hostile work environment in 2020, I did not know it was going to then turn into where I am now, a pharmacist consultant, a speaker, and a coach, living my best life on purpose. I have peace, I have joy, and I manifest abundance daily. So that's what, in the grand scheme of things, that's how I got here where I am today.
No, it's so beautiful, LaQuoia. I mean, I think that, when we're putting together RPH Ally, and Sean and I were talking in the background, there's so many missing gaps that end up happening in care, that so many of us want to get into care because we truly care about helping each other and helping patients and making sure that we're making the impact and using the gifts and blessings that we've been given to help other people. But one of the ways that I've seen it get missed so often in Western medicine and modern healthcare is just not recognizing the importance of actual relationships, not only with those patients, but relationships among each other, trying to find ways to be able to connect on different levels under each other to a sort of depth. And so with that, we both knew that diversity, equity, inclusion, and I love the addition of belonging, were just necessary. If our PHL was really going to walk the walk and not just talk the talk, we need to make sure that we had professionals and leaders in the space that were not only talking about it, but also living it. And I'm very proud to say that we have a very, and LaQuoia knows this and can talk about it herself, but we have a very diverse group of individuals that are all the thought leaders here at RPH Ally. And that is not on accident. That is purely on purpose, because we need to have that environment to be able to be successful. But you didn't have those behind the scenes conversations with us, LaQuoia, until, we got to meet the first time, which was absolutely wonderful. But tell us more about, why did you feel like RPH Ally was the right place to bring grace culture and the right place for you to be able to talk about diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging?
Well, there were so many reasons. I will start with the first reason is brand recognition, right? RPH Ally is brand new, but the fact that you had Ally behind it is what drew me in initially, because we need more allies. Okay. And so that was one thing that made me say, let me see what these guys are about. And then, we do like we all do, in pharmacy, we all do the secret background check, right? Because pharmacy is small. So so I went on LinkedIn and I looked at a profile, and I one of you all, I think it might be you, but maybe Sean, I know you have like a scripture in your profile, and I'm a believer. And I am not ashamed of the gospel. So I will say that I am a believer, but I am very inclusive, and I respect anyone's decision on who they serve and their spirituality, but I'm a believer. And when I saw the scripture, it was like, okay, this is someone that I can talk to. This is someone that I really want to connect with and understand, what do they have? What are they bringing to the table? What do they have to offer as far as partnership in where my purpose is going? And so when I got on the phone and I talked to you and Sean, it was an amazing conversation, right? We just have such great chemistry, such a great time, and just really having transparent conversations that need to be had, need to be shared amongst colleagues in the profession and really at large. Talking about race, talking about diversity, talking about inclusion and equity does not have to be a very tense conversation, because we are all human beings. And at the end of the day, diversity is about the similarities and the differences. We are all similar in some way, shape, or form, because we're all human beings. And so that's really what drew me in at first, was the conversations, and then understanding how you're creating all of these different support channels that all of our pharmacy professionals, pharmacists, and technicians, whether you're in retail or any acute care, whatever setting you're in, there is support for you. Because I know there was a time when I felt like I had nowhere to turn. And I think we talked about that, Kevin and Sean, and some of you all experiences where sometimes you just feel like you're alone. And you're not alone physically, because you have your coworkers around you, but a lot of times it can feel like it's just negative, it's just toxic, you're stuck, you don't know where to go, and you don't know who to turn to and who to talk to, because you don't know who to trust. And I feel like what you all have created is a group of professionals who really want to collaborate and make pharmacy a much better cultural environment, give people opportunities to find out where else you can leverage your degree, where else you can leverage your skills and talents, and know that you're not alone in this journey.
I love that. Yeah, no, thank you for the kind words. And I think the, relationship on a level of connection and connectivity that was very deep beyond kind of the resume is why I think it was so special. And I think that's what I'm so excited about LaQuoia bringing inside of this channel is that kind of connection, not only with, individuals, folks that'll be participating in our channel and members and through talks and speaking engagements and things, but also to be able to help with exactly what LaQuoia said. Sometimes an organization is the one that needs more help, right? And I think that's wonderful to be able to bring in a professional like LaQuoia that has helped other corporate organizations be able to look at their structure and identify the way they're maybe failing and succeeding, to see what they can do better, for their employees and for their patients. And I think that's another wonderful next step, is for us to be able to see where those folks can benefit. So LaQuoia, tell me this. When it comes to your channel, and when I come in there, which I definitely am, and you and I know that we're going to be talking about Native American health in lots of different ways, and other social disparities in rural health settings, which you and I talked about my passions there. But when I'm coming in as a healthcare professional, one, why should I come there? And two, what am I going to get? What am I going to see?
Okay. Those are two great questions. I want to start by saying that I'm building this channel with Kevin and Sean for you. So I'm really here to support you. So I really want engagement. I want to understand what are your needs? What do you want to see on this channel and how can I support you? Because there are a lot of resources out here, but not all of the resources are pharmacy specific or tailored to what you are actually going through. I think you have to be really careful about taking advice from people that have never walked in your shoes. Pharmacy is a very different world. It's a very different animal when it comes to all of the different aspects. We have the legal, the regulatory, we have the dynamic of pharmacy technicians who do a lot of the grunt work and are very lowly paid in relation to the work that they do. And then we have pharmacists that are graduating at like, early 20s, have never worked a 40-hour a week job. The dynamics in our culture, in our environments, and in pharmacy culture is one that is very, very dynamic, and it's changed a lot. So I really want to build this channel for you. One thing that I can point out and say right now is that I have developed a 4-hour ACPE accredited workshop for pharmacy leaders. And when I say pharmacy leaders, I don't mean just a leader that has a title. Everyone is a leader. When Kevin asked why should you join this channel, is because it's for everybody, because everybody is going to face a diversity, equity, and inclusion challenge in your department. You're going to face it. You're probably already facing it. 99.9% of the challenges in your department are related to diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. I promise you that. And so what I can show you is how to embrace diversity. And it starts with embracing you because you are a multidimensional being. I can teach you how to embrace that. I can teach you how to lead for inclusion and then navigate the change because the change is happening. And I show you how to do that with grace. You see, a lot of times we've been using this word in the last 2 years. We just need to give each other grace and give everyone else grace. But that sounds like a pass for bad behavior. We're not giving out passes for bad behavior anymore because pharmacy is a sinking ship. And the ship is sinking because of our culture. You have to grab a bucket, take ownership of you and the person that is in the mirror, because that is the only person that you can change. And you can do that by leading from a lens of grace. Adopt the growth mindset. Learn how to respect people as human beings. Be accountable. Be accountable to the core values that you say are important to you. That's what integrity is. It is standing in the moment and being accountable to who you said you were at the core of your being. Fourthly, have the courageous conversations that need to be had. Over the next week, I'm going to be talking about some courageous conversations that I had to have with my leadership team. I'm putting it all on the line because things have got to change and they need to change immediately. And then last but not least, the E in equity. The E, embrace culture, stands for equity. We're all on this journey to equity. Equity is not going to look the same for you and me and everybody else, but we've got to get there if we want to turn this ship around. And so what I encourage you to do is go to my website, www.agraceculture.org. That's where you can find out my Grace Culture framework. You can also register as well and get a free guide to having courageous conversations.
I love it. I mean, I think it's just an exciting opportunity for someone to be able to open up their mind to see all of the incredible things that are happening out there that can benefit not only their coworkers and themselves, but also benefit their patients, to be able to kind of understand in the whole their depth and level of what we can really do to make a difference, LaQuoia. And that's an opportunity for us to differentiate ourselves. And if we need anything, we need differentiation. Right? We have to be this individuals that can do more than just things behind the scenes. We have to be able to be in front of the scenes with people, letting them know we care and how incredible it can really be to be with them on a one-on-one basis and understand them and care about them. And I love it, LaQuoia. No, thank you so much for your time today. Everybody out there, I wanted to leave LaQuoia with some last words for the rest of us. But once again, rphi.com. You can go there, bring your license, be able to jump on board as a member, and then find LaQuoia's channel as diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, and join there and join the conversation, become kind of part of the next generation of pharmacy where we're really able to care for patients. LaQuoia, can you kick us off with some final words?
Hey, I just like to leave with one of my favorite quotes. You're going to see it on the website when you go to graceculture.org. I want you to join the movement. And it is to say that not everything that we face can be changed, but nothing can be changed until we face it. Let's have the conversations that need to be had so that we can start changing the culture. That's it.
I love it. I love it. Talk to everybody soon. Have a good one.
Bye. Thanks, Kevin.